Hello. With the general election just 6 weeks away, the psychopaths are making their move. On your screen are two of them. The one on the left needs no introduction. He's a man who thinks we can grow aggregates. Yes, that's the concrete farmer. On the right, well, that's Tim Montgomerie, and he has been an influential figure in Conservative politics for the worst part of a couple of decades. He still has the ear of many serving Tory MPs, though perhaps isn't as important as he once was. He turned in his membership in 2020 in protest over what he perceived to be a pro-Remain Conservative government. That being said, his experience in political strategy means that whenever he speaks, certain sections of the Conservative Parliamentary Party tend to listen. Montgomerie was invited onto the Concrete Farmers Talk TV show to offer his views on what he believes the Conservative Party campaigning strategy should be in the run-up to the general election on July 4th. And it really is as depressing and depraved as you can imagine. Let's take a look.
So, you're a veteran of Downing Street. I hope you won't be offended by me saying that. And very many election campaigns. Is that the right way to attack Labour, do you think, though, given that it's going to be negative, to say that they haven't got a plan, and we have? I mean, they've been doing that for a while now. They need a new trick, don't they?
I think, and being completely direct with you, Mike, I think the Tories need to frighten people.
Yes, you heard that right. Let's replay it.
Being completely direct with you, Mike, I think the Tories need to frighten people about Labour, because I personally find Labour a frightening prospect.
Well, look at Steve Carter, what he's done to London. Look at what they've done in Wales.
Yeah. And vagueness isn't frightening.
No.
So saying that they've got no plan, well, OK, I'll take a risk on them, one voter might say. Saying that they basically have a secret plan... ...is much more potentially worrying for voters. And I think they do have a secret plan, because you have Labour people come on programmes like this and they say, the NHS is underfunding, schools are underfunded, the police are underfunded. And then you say to them, well, what are you going to do about it? And they say they've got nothing. The fact is, every Labour government in history has raised taxes. And this Labour government, if we get one, will do the same.
And there you have it. Tim Montgomerie is frightened by Labour because he's a rich man who realises it's inevitable at some point taxes will have to be raised, especially on people like him and his fellow snobs, and it will need to be far higher than it is currently. Though I do not entirely trust Starmer's Labour Party to be the party to do that. Montgomerie is part of the ilk that have gotten richer as poverty and food bank usage has skyrocketed. That money is in the bank and cannot be touched. But such is the sheer desperation to keep that gravy train rolling on. He is suggesting the Conservatives frighten people. But of course, it isn't people like himself he wants them to frighten. It's the poor, the politically disengaged, those who have already suffered 14 miserable years of Tory rule. This is so utterly repulsive on every level. The logic is so warped and so evil. We'll scare the people at the bottom in the hope they will vote for the Conservatives, because if Labour come into office, me as a rich man may be taxed a bit more on my income. Oh, it's refreshing to hear them say it, because this is what's always on their minds. It's so utterly repulsive on every level. I'll tell you what is genuinely frightening. Frightening is waiting for an ambulance that doesn't make it in time. Frightening is being stuck on a waiting list with a serious medical condition. Frightening is knowing that you'll have to wait months to be treated, whilst people like Tim Montgomerie can pay to be seen that day. Frightening is relying on food banks to feed your family. I'll tell you what frightening is not. Frightening is not the prospect of a millionaire having to pay, a penny or two in the pound more on their income tax. To feel comfortable enough to say this out loud in the United Kingdom is Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether it says more about the environment he's sitting in, as in he knows he's talking to a right-wing audience, and he knows he's sat opposite a right-wing bigot in The Concrete Farmer, or is this just the state of the United Kingdom now, where he feels comfortable enough to openly talk about an active electoral campaign of fear amongst the poor, the vulnerable, the politically ignorant, perhaps even the disabled, those who have already been groomed to vote against their best interests? I don't know. You tell me. Is this the state of the country now, where this rhetoric is accepted? Or is this just a case of, I'm talking to a right-wing audience and I'll tell them what I think they want to hear? I suspect it's the former, to be honest. I really do. What a sad state of affairs. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you again soon.